I think for the vast majority of Apex players, Split 1 of Season 13 has been a little rough. There have been a few issues floating around that have been causing major pains for players, and those are to the point where a decent amount of people have actually stopped playing Ranked and even Apex altogether. But hold your horses, because we actually have some amazing news about some changes coming to Apex on June 21st. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down all of the important changes that were going to be introduced. But with all of these changes coming, I'm sure that a lot of you are going to be wanting to restart your rank grinds, and if that is the case, you're going to want to get the best helping hand you can, and there is no better place than the GameLeap website for that. Over there we have the most top-notch coaches that Apex has to offer, all to make you the best player you can possibly be. No matter what you are struggling with, we can help. So if you want to climb to Diamond, Masters, or even Predator, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I'll karate chop your ankles. But okay, now let's hop into these changes. And to start things off, let's talk about a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. And yes, Control is making a comeback. And not only is it coming back, they have added in a ton of quality of life changes to it. They've done stuff like lowering the death timers to get people back into the fight a lot faster. Stuff like the max death screen went from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. They've also now turned off enemy highlights that were throwing a lot of people off. It was weird and janky, but thankfully that won't be an issue any longer. And there's a ton more, like seriously, so many things to talk about, but if I were to talk about those things, then we would be here forever, and there's a lot of other stuff left to cover in the patch notes, so I'm just gonna keep moving on. But if you're an average Control enjoyer, just know that there's a lot of things coming and you will probably enjoy all these changes. But the next thing that we're going to be talking about is a nice quality of life change to the IMC bunkers that were on Stormpoint. Now these have been super overpowered and basically a must do if you're near one. They pass out some amazing loot. However, it could be a bit annoying with players parking cars on top of them to block the skydive. Well, Respawn has now made it where the cars will not be able to land on top of the bunkers, so the potential of dying to players while roof camping is a lot lower. And there was also a bug where you could throw grenades and even Ash teleport through a slit in the roof, but that's now been changed and you won't be able to do it. So camping the bunkers will not be as easy and you'll actually have to plan out an attack on players who are doing them. But that's not all the changes that they have to the bunker. They have also lowered the rewards that you get from doing them to tone down some of the loot that has been going around. You will no longer be able to get the gold loot in the center after reaching wave 8. This was causing an excessive amount of gold knockdowns and backpacks to be floating around the game and made some endgame circles a standoff of who can survive the longest while being downed. They have also decreased the chance of hop-up spawning, going to 50% now, and the gold ones are further reduced to 20%. And smart loot will no longer be generated for players who are outside the armory, so make sure when you're doing it that everyone is inside. But with that covered, we can now move into one of the more interesting changes in my opinion, and that is the crafter rotations. The R301 and the Rampage are coming out of the crafter, and the car SMG and Wingman are now taking their place. That does mean that we will have every LMG in the game as ground loot, so yay. But in all seriousness, I actually think that this is a fantastic change. The car and the Wingman are both super broken in their own respects and are more fitting to be in the crafter. Like, I only crafted a 301 a handful of times this season and it never made a Rampage. They didn't really fit in there and they didn't seem like the right choice. So I'm glad that Respawn is actually making some changes and seeing how these two will play in there. And for all of you Lifeline mains that are still kicking around, then I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that she is getting some buffs. Starting off with her passive revive, your teammates will now be able to cancel the revive on their own. This will help out if they're trying to be thirsted and getting shot at, or they're just in a bad spot. They can opt out of the revive, crawl over a bit more, and then you can start to to revive them again. Next up, for her tactical drone, they have doubled the healing radius, so you can be a lot further away when using it, giving you more freedom in fights to peek different angles and make enemies back off. And also, it has infinite healing while it lasts. Before, it only had a set amount of healing that it could do, but now it doesn't. It still does only last for 20 seconds, but as long as it's up, it will be healing players that are nearby. So if you're low, don't be afraid to hop into the little cuddle puddle. And there are some changes coming to the care package. First off, they lowered the time that it takes to charge from 5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. So now you won't really having to be shoving Altic cells down the Lifeline's throat like the kid eating cake from Matilda. Secondly, the weapon attachment compartment now comes with a shield battery instead of 2 shield cells. And third, there will no longer be a blue beam as it drops. It will only be after it lands. Now, these are some nice quality of life changes, and this will probably help out the Lifeline mains that are still around. However, I don't really think that this will bring her into meta. I think Gibraltar and Newcastle are still just better options for support characters, but now Lifeline has a little bit more usefulness than before and isn't just kind of there. And now the moment you've probably all been waiting for, yes, the ranked changes. Ranked has been tough for a lot of you, I know, so let's go over these and get you excited. First off, the split, a very hot topic for a lot of players. This will now only reset you down 4 divisions, not 6. So for the players that were worried about having to make the huge climb again, you can relax a little bit because it won't be as hefty. And speaking of hefty climbs, they have also lowered the entry cost for each rank across the board. Every single rank will now cost 10 less RP each game. So say if you're Silver 2, before it cost 33 RP to get into a game, but now it will only cost 23 instead. This will make it so that the upped total amount of RP needed to get into new ranks won't be hitting as hard, and getting wins with a bunch of kills will be a lot more rewarding for players. And speaking of kills, they have also changed those as well. They are now giving more RP for higher kill games. Before, the kill amounts went like this. The first 3 kills you got were worth 100%, the next 3 were worth 80%, and any after that were worth 20%. Now with the new changes, the first 3 kills are worth 100%, the next 3 are worth 80%, the next 3 are worth 60%, and the next 3 after that are worth 40%. And if you're able to keep getting kills, anything after that will be worth 20%. So now after these changes, the players who are enjoying playing Edge and being more highly aggressive will be rewarded a lot more than before for getting these higher kill games. Before, you kind of got capped out pretty quickly and they were getting very hard diminishing returns. But now kills are actually worth a lot more and Edge is becoming a lot more of a viable strategy. But there's more. They have also changed the modifiers for killing players tiers above you. Before, it went like this. 1 tier was 100%, 2 tiers was 150, and 3 tiers was 200. But now it'll be 1 tier is 150, 2 is 200, and 3 is 250. So this will be rewarding players a lot more for killing people who are in ranks above them. And speaking of people that were ranks above you, there wasn't anything talking about the matchmaking and if they have anything planned for that. But I would assume that they have something in the works and are just kind of keeping it a bit hush-hush for now so that players can't find a way to exploit it. It's the same reason that they don't talk about their anti-cheat system a whole lot so that players can't really find ways around it. Now, on the flip side, it could be not mentioned because they don't have anything planned yet, but I'm really hoping that Respawn does have something up their sleeve. The matchmaking was really rough for a lot of casual players because in Gold, you were going up against Predator level teams, and that's not really that cool. So hopefully they get it toned down a little bit, the matchmaking is a lot better, and casuals will enjoy themselves a lot more. But now, with all of these things covered, I want to toss it over to you guys. Do you think that these changes are enough to revive the rank scene for the more casual side of Apex? Let me know in the comments down below. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you're looking to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.